Well, howdy there, pipe pals. Old Holy Smoking Pipe Padre saying greetings, salutations, and howdy, y'all. Well, tonight, late afternoon, I should say, smoking a pipe that this was given to me by a very good friend of mine. He's no longer a pipe smoker. He's still walking planet Earth, but he, for personal reasons, he decided that maybe him and pipe smoking just really weren't good for each other. But he had like 3 Danish freehands, and this one here, one of these days I try to get it cleaned up. This is a Ben Wade, this is a Ben Wade. It's called an Irish Prince or something like that. Irish something. But anyway, and I've had this pipe, gosh, going on now, pretty much after that last pipe I showed you, which was like my very first, which was kind of like my very first. Those are chickens in the background. They're just saying hi. It was I probably got this back in the 80s, so you know it goes back a ways. Early Devonian period. Good old bones, this, yeah. And in it, I'm smoking some Blackwoods Flake, courtesy of Theo Bacchinist. He's the one who turned me on to that luscious, delicious blend. Yeah, so if you ever get a chance to try some of that, a good McClellan's blend, there you have it. Well, little incense for the soul, as I like to call it. And I am sitting out here in the old backyard, just taking in a beautiful, spring evening. It's just absolutely gorgeous here in Chico. I'm working on a new project, so the creative juices are starting to flow for me, and that's always a good thing. It's very sweet. It's not an aromatic per se, but there is a very sweetness to this dark woods flake or blackwoods flake. That's tasty. Tasty, yes, tasty. What are you doing, chicken? See if I can get a picture of a chicken here. Here's one of my pet chickens. Say hi there. Say hi there. Hello, chicken. Yeah. That's one of my chickens. One of my little chickies. What? What? And you better not poop over there. Go away. Go away. They're like little kids. Anyway. So, that being said, yeah, I'm just enjoying this, just sitting here smoking a pipe. It's kind of nice, to be honest with you. Jasmine's in bloom. I don't know about other parts of the country. I would imagine that, other parts of the country have certain shrubbery that blooms, and I'm sure jasmine's pretty much universal in America. I could be wrong. I don't know if they have it in Connecticut, where Matches 860 lives, or down in Arkansas where Mark and Amber live, or they have it in think of other people that wonder if they have jasmine blooming this time of year. Gary in New Hampshire, and some of my friends in Deutschland. I wonder if they have jasmine blooming. I noticed that they had juniper a lot in Germany. I remember getting acquainted with juniper. It's a very fragrant bush or shrubbery. I remember because juniper is one of the ingredients they use in making gin. Not that I drink gin anymore, but the days I did drink it, it had that distinctive taste that tells you you're drinking gin, and comes from juniper berries. Guess maybe that's what gin is, fermented juniper berries. But the fragrance is quite, it's a real, luscious herbal, I think. Been doing a lot of just getting back into the old, I dare say it, the old, primal eating. I hate to use the word diet, but it is something that I have been conscious of. When I do it, I am conscious of doing it to an extent. Now, it's been a couple of weeks now where I've gotten into a pattern, and maybe some of you can relate. I remember a guy I met when I was in Bosnia, of all places. He was a soldier. He was a reservist. And I think he was like my age. And I noticed that he was extremely lean and, slender. Not skinny, but, he didn't have a drop of fat on him. And, even most soldiers, unless you're really dedicated to your lift chart and you're, being the Iron Man kind of guy, like a Ranger guy. Most soldiers had a little bit of, they were kind of like, fluffy. They were fluffy, okay? Yeah, a little bit of that, still had their little bit of fat. I mean, they weren't truly obese or anything, but they weren't really as chiseled. And this guy was pretty amazing. And I asked him a question, I remember, just in passing. And the guy, some people just intrigue you. You just kind of, you look at them and you say, hey, what's this guy's deal all about, And so, anyway, he told me that he only eats one meal a day. One meal a day. That's not impossible. And so, anyway, I've always thought about that. That was one of the things that I had always kind of like, somehow I'm going to file that in the back of my brain housing group, and maybe someday I'll pull it out and use it. Well, I've been doing intermittent fasting in the past, in the last couple of years, and walking. Those are the two big things that helped me to lose all that weight. And now that I kind of put some of it back on, although I'm happy to say I'm working at certainly taking it all back off again, and it's coming off. It's kind of nice to be able to use the strategies that I've learned over the last 2 years, and they work. But I want to say more about that in just a moment. But anyway, so I've been doing the intermittent fasting, and usually I try to, my two big intermittent fast days, I try to get like a 36-hour fast, and sometimes it actually would go beyond that because I wouldn't eat until afternoon the next actual day I was going to eat. So I'd go one full day plus almost 18 hours on the next day. Now that's pretty Spartan, I admit. And I mean, I don't know if I would recommend anybody doing that, although the intermittent fasting book that came out a few years ago, they talked about that was the ideal fast, but 18 hours was the minimum, 24 was pretty much the solid one, and then if you upped it up to 36 hours plus, they had said, once or twice a week, that was pretty good. Anyway, so started the Whole30 diet, which is basically no more processed foods. Junk food, of course, is gone, sugar's gone, and no processed food. So it's all organic and natural stuff. No preservatives, no chemicals. You just eat chicken or beef or lamb. Tonight I had lamb, and vegetables. Chris Kruger, you may remember him from my TSC challenge. He put out a recent video, and he was talking about how to get lean, and and he said, his secret was now just 6 cups of leafy greens in a salad, every night. That was what he would do. So here's and I'm 58, so the thing was, I started thinking, well, okay, maybe what I could do is just do the 1 meal a day. Could I do that consistently? Because it's got to be, you got to do things. You have to be consistent. So when I started the Whole30, actually even before that, got rid of the sugar, got rid of all the junk foods that I've been doing. Haven't been doing a lot, but I had been doing some since I got here, which even once a week was like once way too many for me. So again, I hadn't done it in a long, long time. Maybe you can see the chickens. There they are. They're sneaking up on us. There they are. Yep. Look at them. Look at them. There they are. There they are, the little turkeys. Yep. My children. Those of you who watch my videos from years past will kind of wonder, well, he's still got those wind chimes. How does he do that? Well, there they are right there. Same wind chimes, just a different locale. Would you guys knock it off? I've already fed you. And stop pooping on my patio. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Well, they back talk me. Do you hear that? They back talk me all the time. So, so basically what I've been doing for the last 7-8 days is I've been, it has had some interesting side effects. For some reason, and I try to eat a macrobiotic diet, so I eat my protein, I eat my big salad. That's the staple, and I don't put any preserved dressings, store-bought dressings. I make a little vinaigrette mustard dressing, which is all natural with some olive oil, a little bit of either rice wine vinegar or apple cider vinegar, and this Dijon mustard it's just basic Dijon mustard. There's no wine, there's no preservatives. It's just a basic organic mustard, which is really tasty. A little salt and pepper, and you whip that up with some, you can put a little squoze of lemon juice on there, and then you just put that over your salad, and Bob's your uncle. So I do that, and I enjoy that, and then I have maybe chicken or beef, or like tonight I said I had lamb, which is very tasty. And I try to maybe every other night have a little bit of a little medallion, a sweet potato medallion. We bought these big, huge, I wonder if chickens eat lizards. I guess they would, little ones. Anyway, that one's attacking something over there. It's kind of funny to see a chicken attacking something. It's got it too. Oh boy, it must have been a big juicy worm. But anyway, I eat that pattern, and then I get a big huge thing of water, and then later in the evening I have a green tea, and I go to bed. And so for the last 4 or 5 nights, I normally, because I am an old middle-aged guy, I get up 5 times during the night because I gotta go. And I've noticed, and this is which is really curious for me, I go to bed at 10 o'clock and I don't have to get up in the middle of the night like I used to. I just sleep, which is kind of like awesome and amazing. So I know it has a lot to do with hormone regulation, and stop fighting. They're fighting now. I don't know what they're doing. I need to maybe check and make sure they got food. I thought they have been fed today. Anyway. So I'm finding that 1 meal a day is enough. In fact, right now, once I get done, I'm pretty full. I mean, now again, I've got 60% of that's a salad. Another probably 25% is the protein, and then the other 15% is the carb. I do very light carbs now. When I do carbs, I mean starchy carbs. So that's it. I've noticed that some of my trousers that I couldn't even put on about a month ago, I can wear again, and so I'm happy about that. And I hopefully, one more size I'll get down to where I used to be, and then see if I can keep going. So I want to see how the diet does, because what happens is, and what I've done in the past is I sabotage myself by giving myself permission to just eat junk or eat very carelessly on the weekends. And clearly I did lose the weight eventually, but I would take, maybe a couple steps back or a step back after, doing a really good hard week of, diet and exercise. But more importantly, it's not just about the weight loss or the fat loss. Fat loss is important. Weight loss is not the real goal. It's fat loss, but it's trying to repair metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome. And I think one of the things I'm learning I'm a little bit obtuse, so it takes me a little bit. I'm not the smartest bear in the woods, okay? So this old bear has to kind of get stung a few times and finally realize I really don't want to do that anymore. What I was going to say earlier is that, when I do mess up my metabolism, I do mess up through, eating poorly, bad choices. I pay this price, and I'm thinking, just like anything else with your body, it only can recover so many times, and after that, it is broke. So the point is that, I've found, for the most part, a diet, things that are tasty, delicious. And again, I just saw an article about McDonald's food, which I gotta be honest, I used to love it. But I had so many problems with my bowels. I'm not going to go on TMI, I know, but oh, sorry, I just needed to say a little something to the Cynthia and Susan at Stutter channel. They were saying, do you get gurgle in your Danish freehands? Yes, and this is how I just take care of it. I have a little pouch of pipe cleaners, and I just, when I start feeling I'm getting a little bit too much moisture, this one here I can kind of probably, I think I can break that apart. And there we go. Yeah, that's it. Just, sorry, should show what I'm talking about. There we go. And we're back in business. Nice dry pipe. It's part of the hobby, hey. Just like part of the hobby is, stained, oxidated stems, and you can clean that up. There are a lot of people, guys and gals, that I think have videos now on how to clean that up yourself. I took mine to the briar patch. I didn't take this one, obviously, but last year. But I took in a box and a half of all my pipes, and God bless Sean, he did a great job. And I'm a little bit too nervous to start smoking them again, because they'll get all trashed again. And now I don't live down there anymore, or at least that close. I'm afraid I'll never see them again. But anyway, but I do know that there are some products that you can buy to restore these and clean them up best you can on your own. But this is an old pipe, and it's a good old workhorse, and boy, it really smokes this Blackwood's flake most excellently. So anyway, so damaged metabolic syndrome, is something you don't really want to be playing with all the time. That being said, I'm not trying to be a troll and say, oh, I'm not going to go eat cake ever again, or I'm not going to have goodies ever again. Sure I am. I know myself, and I know that there'll be those moments for whatever reason that, you know, that cake's going to look so good and I'm going to have some, or that pie is going to look great, or that macaroni and cheese. I haven't had macaroni and cheese in years, you know. Our spaghetti, you know, our lasagna, our enchiladas, you know. But anyway, but I was going to get to that McDonald's thing, but I was eating that food all the time. I was eating, you know, that kind of food, you know, all the time. And I had irritable bowel syndrome. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Hope I didn't gross anybody out. But I had indigestion problems. I had acid reflux. And they're just showing that processed food destroys the flora in your gut. And if you don't have a healthy gut, you don't eliminate, you don't assimilate, and you don't eliminate properly, and that's why people get sick from diet-related diseases. Those chickens are eating the jasmine. Look at that. Look at that. They're eating the jasmine. I didn't know they did that. Interesting. Hope they don't get sick and die. Don't feed avocados or avocado rinds to your chickens. It will kill them. I'm wondering if maybe I need to give them some food. I mean, we have somebody that takes care of them, basically. I mean, I give them water every other day, and I do feed them. So when I do make a juice, I give them pulp from the juice. They love that. But I haven't done any juice lately because I've been doing raw salads, which are probably a little bit better because of you get more of the enzymes, more of the nutrients. And you know, you do get the extra benefit of the fiber. Oh, here they come again. Oh boy. So anyway, it's kind of a boring video, and I apologize for that. I just wanted to just say hi. So I hope you're enjoying. I hope you're having a beautiful spring evening. It's been actually kind of on a little bit of the chilly side, and I don't know if we're actually going to get rain, but we're going to be getting some possibility of thunderstorms maybe in the next day or two. That would be great. So anyway, let's see, the other thing I was just going to briefly talk about. Oh, by the way, as far as the Blackwoods flake goes, very, very tasty. Tasty, 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 and there's no tongue bite. So this is a real kind of a tobacco for just sitting and thinking and enjoying life. But gentleman the other day saw one of my earlier videos about three years ago, and made some very you know, very, very positive comments in the comment section. And you know, I had to like watch it again, and I noticed that, you know, my face was all broken out, and you know, big fat swollen face, and not that I well, a little bit different than I was a few years ago. But I think that a lot of that was all diet-related diseases. You know, grains are notorious, I found out, for causing acne and rosacea. And sugar, especially sugar and grains. And I just, you know, I look back now, and again, back then I was very ignorant about diet. And I just knew that, you know, I'd always feel really lousy. And I mean, of course I would eat a lot of food. I mean, I was constantly eating all day long. You know, well, I take that back. Well, it's interesting. There is a difference. Because in some ways, is when I was a teacher, and when I was, of course, in my ministry and stuff. I've never been a morning person that gets up and has a breakfast. Now, I do enjoy a good breakfast. Of course, I got fresh eggs here, literally, and they're very yummy and nutritious. A lot of omega-3, but my pattern was to go until about, well, like kind of almost like what I'm doing now, except the big difference was I would eat all this garbage in the late afternoon, early evening, and I would just keep eating. I'd just keep eating all night long. Does that sound familiar? Because again, like John Gabriel says, that the mistake, one of the basic things to remember, to learn first, is eat nutritionally, not calorically. And you might say, well, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean by that? Well, if you eat nutritious food that your body is longing for, then you're not going to overeat. And I've been finding that to be the last 8 days. I have one meal in the evening, and I'm not stuffed, but I'm full. There's a difference. And a lot of my problem is not only would I eat bad food, but I'd eat it, till maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Be snacking, chips, cookies, crackers. Well, occasionally I'd eat something kind of healthy, but it would probably be kind of, whatever. It'd be mixed with other garbage stuff. So now that my body has got all those building blocks for healing and building muscle and regulating the hormones, because it's getting all the good nutrients and everything, it's kind of like, okay, we're done. We don't need any more food. It's like, okay, it's like when you put wood in your stove. If you put it in, like, say, trash, this is a good analogy. Let's say you put in some paper cups, some newspapers, whatever it is, just trash that you normally would just throw away, but you're going to burn that instead. It burns super hot and super fast, but then it can start getting clogged up, and so you add more to keep the fire going, but now you're getting all this residue and residual garbage in there, because that's not really being combusted. That's not being burned for fuel. It's just kind of now sitting on the bottom, but it's not totally burned because it can't burn, or, you know what I'm saying? And so the fire, you just got to keep feeding that fire, instead of when you get some really seasoned oak, which is hard, dense wood, and you put a chunk of that into that fireplace or that wood stove, it's probably going to burn all night long. You don't need to put any more stuff in there. It will burn itself, providing you do it right. You put just the right amount, and then nature takes care of the rest of it. It's like this black flake here, or blackwood flake. It's a dense tobacco, and flake tobaccos are kind of like that. One of the nice advantages of a flake tobacco is once you get it going, it's hard to get it going sometimes, but once you do, it pretty much will stay lit. You gotta do the little billows action there. I mean, keep that fire alive. But it doesn't require a lot. So if you packed it right and it's a good tobacco to begin with, you probably don't even need to relight it. Now, if you're talking like I am, that's why, to be honest, I know this will come as a surprise to some of you. When I sit and smoke a pipe, it's kind of a little bit of work for me to talk and smoke at the same time. Because if I had a friend here that was also, say, a pipe smoker, or having a cigar or whatever, what I would tend to do would be this. just sitting and listening is really the most enjoyable thing to do with a pipe. And there are a couple times I know in some videos that I kind of like, my little thoughts get carried away on that little cloud of tobacco and I'm kind of almost gone. And that's what I like. That's what I like about smoking my pipe and enjoying, you know, the beautiful outdoors like I am today. And, you know, so that's basically all I have to share with you tonight. You know, those of you who watch the videos, thank you. You know, leave comments. I try to answer most of the comments. I don't think I'll be honest, I don't answer every single one. That would be a lie. I try to make some little response if I can and when I can. Sometimes they're late. So anyway, so take care of yourselves. Please do that. We will be talking to you soon. This is Old Holy Smoking Pipe Padre saying thanks for watching, and light up your world. Light up your pipe. Incense your soul. See you.